Greetings from our Middle Tennessee studio, and welcome to today's Vista Points podcast, Choose Your Path, where the Vista Points staff are committed to improving the quality of life for people of any age who are living with a physical, mental, or intellectual disability. I'm Bart, your podcast host. Throughout this year, we've talked about ways a beneficiary, that is, someone living with a physical, mental, or intellectual disability, can access their special needs trust to pay for items or services that will give them a better quality of life. Today, we're going to talk about ways a beneficiary and his or her family member may give back to the community by being a volunteer. Many people think that when someone is living with a disability, they must receive care and they have very little to offer others. I'm here to tell you that's 100% not true. People can help others in numerous ways through their volunteer efforts. The volunteer work does not have to be grandiose. It can be whatever the person is willing and capable of doing. Now, you're probably thinking that volunteering is not possible for someone who may have a physical disability. This is partially true. There are people who cannot volunteer due to their disability. However, there are many people living with a disability who want to and can volunteer. A beneficiary special needs trust can be used to pay for transportation to and from volunteer events. It can pay for a caregiver to accompany the beneficiary while the caregiver is providing assistance to the beneficiary. The possibilities are endless. All it takes is a creative mind to find the precise volunteer function best suited for a person living with a physical, mental, or intellectual disability. Now, have you ever considered flower bouquet design as a volunteer activity? Well, I think not. But Random Acts of Flowers in Knoxville, Tennessee is a glorious place full of volunteers who are helping create flower bouquets for others who could use a little boost. Today's guest is Ally Slavick of Random Acts of Flowers. Hello, Ally. Welcome to our Vista Points podcast.
Hi, Bart. Thank you for having me this morning. It's so nice to see you.
Ally, I'm so glad I got to meet you recently while I was in Knoxville. You opened my eyes to all the uplifting things Random Acts of Flowers does in the community. Let's begin our podcast by talking about you and your involvement in the organization. I understand that you've been the executive director of Random Acts for Flowers for less than a year. Please tell me about yourself and how you became involved in this organization.
Absolutely. So I have been in the nonprofit arena for 8 years now. And previously, I worked with domestic violence prevention programming, and it was very heavy work. So I'm also a mother of two. I have a 2-year-old girl and a 6-month-old boy. Who I'm very proud of. But coming home each day, I was just fatigued and kind of disheartened, not being able to see immediate impact of the work that I was putting out to the community. And it took a toll. I know that it's meaningful work, it's crucial, but it definitely took a toll on me. All the while, I had been following along Random Acts of Flowers on social media, the work that they've done in our community. And I'd say things like, I can't wait when I have more time, I want to volunteer there, or I'd love to do that. Maybe I'll reach out someday. And then this position opened up and it felt like a sign. It truly is my dream job. And it shares a lot of the core values of this organization that I hold near and dear to my heart. So caring for others, positivity, trying to spread joy. When I look back at my life, I really want something that my children would be proud of. And the work that Random Acts of Flowers does just embodies that spirit of giving back to your community, loving each other, and really sharing that volunteer spirit. So their mission is almost immediately fulfilled day in, day out. You know, flowers come in, flowers go right back out. And it's been something so beautiful to witness and behold. Who doesn't love a bouquet of flowers? And then when it comes from a complete stranger or somebody that has, no reason to give it to you other than just the fact that they want to spread a little bit of joy, that's powerful.
That's fascinating. And I'm sure your children are very proud of you, Ally. You have quite a one-of-a-kind job. You bring happiness and joy to so many. In reviewing the Random Acts of Kindness website, I saw that your board of directors come from all sorts of backgrounds. You have quite the assortment of business professionals who are serving this organization. What do you believe attracts people to work with this company?
I love that you've asked this question. So, when I was interviewing for this job, it's one of the reasons that I knew it was right for me. Our board is full of people from diverse backgrounds and very unique skill sets. And that's very reflective of who we serve. Everyone encounters injury, illness, or the aging process in their life. So, our work can really touch the lives of anybody and everybody. But there's something unifying among our entire board, and that's their commitment to community service and our mission. So, when speaking with each of them one on one, I heard over and over again how independently each of them was impacted by our mission, whether it was flowers that they had received, a loved one of theirs had received, or maybe they were working in the healthcare field and had seen this mission in action being delivered to a third party. But they had even been, dedicated volunteers for us for years. So it's really special when you have a person that has a personal tie to the mission being involved at that greater level. It makes their commitment to the organization all the more powerful. And again, some of those core values at Random Acts of Flowers are fun, passion, excellence, and accountability. And I think that's something that each member of our board does a great job of embodying. They care deeply and passionately about our mission. We want to make sure that every single bouquet that's delivered is excellent, and we want it to look the same time in and time out in terms of its, excellent ability that it's been sent out. And our board holds ourselves accountable to never straying too far from the mission. If it's going back to the workshop and volunteering as much as possible, our board of directors makes a specific effort to stay tied to the mission so they're never too far from the work that we're doing. At the end of the day, we're bringing joy, we're spreading smiles, and delivering flowers. So we try not to overcomplicate it and take that for granted.
Gosh, Sally, the way you've explained it to me and to our listeners, I can see by being involved in volunteering with Random Acts of Flowers, businesses and people are able to make beautiful impact on the community. These flower bouquets that the volunteers prepare and deliver provide happiness and hope. They also let people know they're not alone. It must make a person feel so good to know that someone is thinking of them and cares of them. Tell us a story about this, can you, Allie?
I absolutely can. And it really does make an impact. My first week with the organization, I received a voicemail from a sweet widower who had decided to donate her florals from her husband's funeral to our organization. And what we do in response is we send a letter with images of how we're able to, repurpose those flowers and deliver them out to the community. And her voice was quivering. It was shaking with a little bit of joy in the midst of really such a truly heartbreaking time in her life, about how she was filled with such gratitude that his life was given, an added bit of joy into the community. His impact on his way out was, sharing with others more love. And I thought, wow, okay, I'm in the right place. This is something special. Having a moment of kindness like that, and hearing it and witnessing it all the time with our testimonials is so powerful, whether it's phone calls that we receive like that, or letters. So just about a month and a half ago, we wrapped up our initiative with Mobile Meals, where we partnered with them and delivered floral arrangements alongside their meals out in the community. And one letter that we received in response to that at the end quite literally said, "To have fresh flowers brought to my door lifted my spirits. I felt better all day knowing that there are folks out there who care and are so thoughtful." Those are his exact words. And that's precisely why we do the work that we do. So to hear that it resonated with him, exactly how we envision, that's so special. And it happens day in and day out that we receive these testimonials. Really just emphasizing the work that we do, having such an incredible impact.
That's very touching. How warm. Thank you for sharing the story with our listeners and with me. Today's podcast is focused on volunteering. I can see that volunteers with Random Acts of Flowers do spread joy to others, one bouquet at a time. Please tell our listeners about who a volunteer may be and how someone can become involved.
Yes. So our volunteers, I might be a little biased here, but I think that they're the best in the business. They're truly incredible. And without our volunteers, we could absolutely not accomplish our mission to the level of impact that it has. Volunteers don't need to be floral experts. They don't even need to be floral lovers. I have the opposite of a green thumb, and yet I feel like I'm in the right spot. Our volunteers, there's a task for everybody. Out there that wants to get involved, whether it's floral prepping, arranging, whether it's picking up the donated flowers and delivering them to our workshop, or delivering the flower arrangements out to the community, giving that gift of kindness in itself. It could be helping around with healthcare or with our facility tasks, washing vases, or even decorating vases. And helping clean up the workshop or take out the compost. There's so many different levels that an individual can get involved in our organization. But the first step is to just apply online. We are very grateful to have a large amount of people interested in volunteering with us. So there's a little bit of a wait list, but we do a great job of powering through with multiple orientations per month to try to get as many people that want to be involved in the community, giving them that opportunity to do so. But even in the meantime, we have, volunteer opportunities that individuals can do from their own house. So groups will come in and grab plastic vases and, can take those home and decoupage them or decorate them to brighten them up and really amplify an arrangement that's going to be given out in the community. Something more than just, a plastic clear vase or a clear glass vase, really making it all the more special. So there's so many ways to get involved, and somebody can get involved right now.
Great. Let me ask you, am I too old to be involved? Are there age requirements? Or I bet mothers would love to bring their children to the warehouse while they put together bouquets. Tell me about that.
Absolutely, you are not too old to get involved. We welcome with open arms anybody that wants to come and spread their time, share their time with us. We do encourage volunteers to be at least 12 years old and older, and of course, those minors should be accompanied with their guardians. With it being an active workshop, there are some items that could be hazardous, so we just try to keep that 12 years and older. But again, I echo that there are some of those items that you could even do from the comfort of your home, your own home. So we've had adorable little Girl Scout troops come, or younger audiences take home those plastic vases and decorate them. And that's an activity for any and all ages. But yes, for in the workshop, we try to keep it 12 and older. And of course, those minors accompanied with their parent or guardian. But it's such a fun way to really give back.
Thanks for explaining that to me, Allie. I can see how being a volunteer is a win-win experience for the volunteer and for the flower bouquet recipient. The volunteer has the satisfaction of making a beautiful flower bouquet for someone else. They also get to be in your expansive warehouse full of fresh cut flowers. The aroma of the flowers alone could brighten someone's day. Then the flower recipient is surprised with the bouquet and also gets to see and smell the beautiful flowers. Does Random Act of Flowers include any kind of card with the flower bouquet delivery?
Yes, we do, and this is something that I love about how we work out our mission. Is every single arrangement that's delivered also includes a little delivery card, which has information about Random Acts of Flowers to give more insight to who this came from, what this nonprofit is. But it also shows who made it possible, who are the sponsors that help uplift our mission, who are the individuals that donated those florals, whether they are from an event or a grocery store or a funeral service. And then who are the volunteers that craft it? So even the individual's name that made that bouquet in the workshop are there as well. And I think that just adds, added emphasis to the individual receiving it to see just how many people went into this process and care just to give them an arrangement of flowers.
That's so cool and uplifting. We've talked about how people can volunteer with Random Acts of Flowers. Does the organization accept other things such as financial donations to keep it going?
We absolutely do, and we are very reliant on that as well. The continuation of our work is completely due in part to the dedicated time of our volunteers and our generous partners, whether those are the floral donors, our healthcare facility partners, or of course those monetary givers. Something that I've seen that's been so special since joining the Random Acts of Flowers team is that the amount of donations that we receive from those who have been specifically impacted by our mission. I think it's so uplifting and special to receive a handwritten note in the mail of a recipient who received those arrangement of flowers, or maybe it was their mother that received it and a daughter writing on her behalf saying, my mom received these monthly in the nursing home and I saw the impact that it had on her day, on her week. And then they choose to give their treasure as well. That's something that's so special, and I think it's reflective of the importance of our work. A floral arrangement might seem small or maybe even trivial to some about what we're doing, but it's really incredible to see how that level of kindness may impact somebody and carry them through their day, their week, or even their month. We're also very grateful to receive financial support from many of the healthcare facilities that we work with, whether it's like UT Medical or Covenant Health or Tenova. I think again this all reiterates the value of the work is the fact that people and individuals who are impacted by this are pouring right back into the mission. I think that just emphasizes the positive impact that it has on people in our community.
Those are great stories. Let me ask you a question. I noticed all these beautiful vases. Some of them look old and some of them look new. And where do all those vases come from?
Oh my gosh, we are incredibly grateful to the members in our community that donate those vases day in and day out. We receive thousands of vases per month. And we are able to sort them right then and there, whether we can use them and donate them back out into the community, or we can then give them to, CARM. We make sure that all of these floral items stay out of the landfill. So thanks in large part to the generous donors out in the community cleaning out their cupboards or their closets and giving us those vases. We're able to give them, a gift of a second life and a gift of joy to brighten somebody else's day. So if you're ever cleaning out your cupboards and your closets, please consider Random Acts of Flowers. We will find a special place for those vases.
That's great. I know this past year, Vista Points became involved and helped to sponsor an event called the Garden Party. Our executive director, Miss Darlene Kemp, has volunteered at your facility and has prepared a bouquet or two. She told me she plans to continue her involvement. I think the beautiful smell of flowers got to her. She's so like many others who volunteer, left the facility feeling so good. It's fun to help brighten someone's day, especially when they're in the hospital, in a nursing home, and wherever. Does Random Acts of Flowers have a dedicated event throughout the year? Do they have several of them?
We absolutely do. So we have dedicated weeks throughout the year in where we can kind of focus on a specific and platform and advocate for something that might be specifically impacting a portion of the individuals we serve. So for instance, earlier this month, we had our Veterans Delivery Week where we donated more than 800 floral arrangements to healthcare facilities that had veterans with them all across Knoxville and the surrounding counties. That's something so special to be able to recognize and thank people for their service while also letting them know we care. And this is just a tiny little way of showing that we care about you. Additionally, we have Share the Love Week in February, just following Valentine's Day. You imagine those, the outpouring flower leftovers that they have following Valentine's Day, and we're able to give them, a new and an added life by donating them back to the community in honor of National Cancer Prevention Month. So we give them to oncology centers. Additionally, in June, we have Brightest Week. It lines up with the summer solstice, and that's our way to acknowledge those facing memory care disorders. And then right around the corner, we actually have our poinsettia delivery weeks where we deliver poinsettias to individuals in all the surrounding major hospitals, just to show a little bit of holiday cheer.
Well, I kind of figured with the Christmas season being here that the warehouse is bustling with people preparing to deliver poinsettias.
Yes, it absolutely is. So this is our first Poinsettia initiative actually kicks off on November 28th. And this is the longest running tradition at Random Acts of Flowers. So we are in our 14th year. As mentioned before, these poinsettias are delivered to patients at all the local and regional hospitals. And you really think about it, during this time of year, we always emphasize the importance of family, home, being surrounded by loved ones. So it can be especially difficult for those that are not awarded this luxury. Many of us that are instead, battling injury or illness and at a hospital may feel amplified feelings of isolation and loneliness. And these poinsettias can have a significant impact on their day, reminding them that their community cares, that their neighbors see them, and that they're not alone during this time.
That's cool. If I was laying in a hospital room all by myself, confined to my bed, I'd be very pleased to see bouquets of flowers coming in my room. Thanks for sharing all these stories and all this information with me and my listeners, your listeners. Allie, allow me to ask you a especially important question. Will you share Random Acts of Flowers contact information with us?
I would be happy to do that for your listeners, Bart. So, Random Acts of Flowers, you can call and reach us at 865-633-9082 or check out our website at rafknoxville.org.
Thank you, Allie. Would you give that to us one more time? I think our listeners need to hear your contact information to be sure they get it.
I would, Bart. Our organization can be reached at 865-633-9082, and our website is rafknoxville.org.
Thanks again, Allie. I'm sure our listeners are thinking right now how they can get involved. We've been talking with Ally Slavick, the awesome executive director of Random Acts of Flowers in Knoxville, Tennessee. Thanks so much to our podcast listeners for tuning in to today's episode of Choose Your Path, a Vista Points podcast. I hope you enjoyed our interview and its focus on volunteering. I encourage you to contact Random Acts of Flowers to see how you can become involved. It's easy. If you have questions about the services Vista Points provides, please call us at 888-422-4076. That is 888-422-4076. Each of the Vista Points volunteers is happy to answer your questions and assist you in any way they can. You can find more information about Special Needs Trust for people of any age who are living with a physical, mental, or intellectual disability on our Facebook page, Vista Points Inc. That's Vista Points INC. I'm happy to say our podcasts have become informative and entertaining resources for many people. We currently have over 5,000 people who listen to our podcast on the 1st and 15th of every month. Our YouTube channel is Vista Points SNT. That's SNT as in Special Needs Trusts. You can also find past episodes on the Vista Points website at vistapoints.org. That's vistapoints.org. Just click on the podcast tab at the top of the page. It'll take you all of our interesting and informative podcasts. Enjoy your day with your loved one. Regardless of where or when you find us, we walk beside you on your path. I look forward to sharing more information with you on how Special Needs Trust can be a benefit to anyone living with a disability. Cheers.